The stars outside shimmered like coal dust. The human ship Silver Path floated silently through an old asteroid field that had no name in any map. The crew was on a search mission, one of many sent by Earth to explore forgotten corners of the galaxy. Engineer Ryan was not expecting much. Most days, he found rocks, old metal scraps, or broken satellites. But today felt different. His scanner beeped. It was soft, low, but steady. A signal was coming from one of the larger asteroids. He adjusted the ship's course. Captain, I'm getting something weak, but real. Energy signature buried inside asteroid 92. The captain, an older woman with sharp eyes, nodded. Let's take a look. Could be a trap, but we can't leave it. Double quotes soon. The crew touched down on the rocky surface. Ryan led the team inside a crack in the asteroid. They followed the signal through dark tunnels, stepping over old dust and frozen pipes. Then they found it. A chamber opened up before them, and in the middle of the chamber stood a figure. She was tall, over 7 feet, and wrapped in armor that shimmered silver blue. The armor looked advanced, far beyond human tech. Wires ran from the ceiling to her back. She didn't move, didn't breathe, but her armor glowed faintly, like something alive but sleeping. What is that? Someone whispered. Ryan stepped forward slowly, his eyes locked on her. The armor was beautiful, smooth like glass but hard like steel. No weapon in her hands, just standing still, like a statue. He checked his scanner again. The signal's coming from her armor. It's weak. Whatever's in there, it's not dead. The captain looked uneasy. Could be a trap, an old alien weapon. Ryan shook his head. No, she's not a weapon. She's trapped. He walked closer, placing a hand on her arm. The surface was cold, but it pulsed slightly, like something inside hurt him. A small hum passed through his palm. Suddenly, the lights on the armor blinked, once, twice, then faded again. She's alive, Ryan said, voice low. The rest of the crew backed away, unsure. But Ryan stayed. His gut told him the figure was not dangerous. She needed help. Get a stretcher. He said, we're taking her back to the ship, back aboard Silver Path. They placed the armored figure in a sealed medbay. Ryan stayed with her. He scanned the armor closely, trying to understand its structure. It was more than metal. It had moving parts, hidden energy channels, and something organic woven through it. He whispered to her, even though she didn't respond. Who are you? How long have you been alone? Hours passed. Ryan worked through layers of code and circuits. He noticed a lock on the back of the armor, sealed tight, but not impossible to open. It looked old, as if it had been locked centuries ago. Then something strange happened. As he connected a portable energy core to the lock, her fingers moved slightly. He froze. Did you just move? He leaned closer. Her fingers twitched again. Her head moved just a little to the side, as if trying to wake from a long sleep. You're in there, Ryan whispered, and you're fighting to come out. He tapped into the armor's power relay again. The lights blinked once more. This time, the chest plate released a soft hiss, like air being let out after years of silence. The medbay doors opened, and the captain stepped in. You still working on her? Yes, Ryan said. She's waking up. We can help her. The captain frowned. If she's dangerous, she's not, he said firmly. I don't think she even chose to wear this armor. She's locked inside. The captain watched him for a moment, then gave a quiet nod. You've got one more night, Ryan. After that, we call Central Command. As the door closed, Ryan turned back to the still figure. He reached for the side panel and started working, slowly, carefully. He opened part of the shoulder plate. It came off with a low click. Beneath the armor was soft, smooth skin with faint glowing marks, almost like ancient writing. It was the first true proof. She wasn't a machine. She was a living being, trapped inside this strange suit. We're going to get you out, he said softly. As the lights flickered above them, the alien's hand moved again, stronger this time. And though she didn't open her eyes yet, her lips parted slightly. A faint breath escaped her mouth. The medbay stayed quiet except for the soft beeping of machines and the slow hum of the life support systems. Ryan sat near the armored figure, his tools spread across the table beside him. His eyes were tired, but he didn't stop working. Every part he removed brought him closer to whoever was inside the armor. He gently pulled off another section of the shoulder plate. Steam hissed out, and the panel dropped to the floor with a clank. Underneath was more of the glowing skin, marked with symbols that looked older than any language Ryan had ever seen. The lights on her chest pulsed once. Her fingers twitched again. "You're almost out," Ryan said softly. Suddenly, a soft voice came through the speaker near the ceiling. It was the captain. "Ryan, we have a decision to make." He stood and pressed the comm button. "What kind of decision?" "Command wants to know what we found. They want to send a science team. But if this being is dangerous, they may not come to help. They might come to take her." Ryan looked back at the still figure. She had not moved since the last twitch, but something inside her felt awake now. He didn't know who she was, but he felt responsible. "Give me one more day," he said. There was silence on the line. Then the captain replied, 24 hours. Then we report everything." Ryan turned back to the figure. He leaned close to the helmet, tapping lightly on its side. "I don't know if you can hear me, but you need to wake up soon. If I can't show them that you're more than a machine, they'll take you apart." For the next few hours, he focused on the helmet. It was the last major piece, and the most complicated. It had locks, shields, and systems he didn't fully understand. But there was one key thing he had learned. There was a soft spot near the back of the neck, a weak connection. If he could disconnect the right node, the helmet would loosen. He reached for his smallest tool, held his breath, and slowly worked the node free. Click. A sharp hiss escaped from the helmet as pressure released. Steam flowed out like mist. The metal around the helmet's base slowly opened. Ryan pulled gently and the helmet came off. Long silver blue hair spilled out. Her skin was pale and glowing, her face peaceful but clearly alive. Her eyes remained closed. Ryan stared in awe. She wasn't some monster or weapon. She was beautiful and clearly not human, but her expression showed no anger or danger, only deep sleep. Then her lips moved again. A whisper. "Free." Ryan leaned closer. "Can you hear me?" Her eyelids fluttered. Then slowly, very slowly, she opened her eyes. They were deep violet with gold lines running through them like cracks in glass. She stared at Ryan, confused, weak. He didn't move. He didn't want to scare her. "You're safe," he said quietly. "You were locked inside that armor. I helped remove it." She looked down at her body, at the armor pieces still covering her chest and legs. Her hands weakly moved. She reached out, but then dropped her arm to heavy. Her lips moved again, this time clearer. "You removed the seal?" Ryan nodded. "Yes, it took a while, but I found the locks. You were trapped in there." She blinked slowly. Her voice was dry and soft. "How long?" "I don't know," Ryan replied. "You were found inside an asteroid. No records, no signal logs. But from what we saw, maybe hundreds of years, maybe more." She closed her eyes again. A single tear rolled down her cheek. It glowed like liquid starlight. "My name is Ryan," he said gently. "What's yours?" Her voice was quiet. "Ilari." The name echoed in the room. It didn't match any known alien species on human records. Ryan looked down. "Ilari, we only have one day before others come. They might not treat you like a person. I need to know, are you in danger? Are we?" She looked at him, pain in her eyes. "Not for me, but others may come." Ryan stood up. Why would they come now?" Ilari tried to sit up, struggled, and failed. "The armor, not just armor. A cage, part of a forgotten order. I refused to obey. So they locked me away." Ryan felt a chill. "Who are they?" "They ruled the stars before your kind rose," she said. "If the seal broke, they will know." The room fell silent. Ryan stared at her. "What will they do?" Ilari looked at him sadly. "They will destroy anyone who helped me." Ryan didn't blink. He only said one thing. "Then we fight together." Ilari lay still on the medical bed. The helmet was gone, and parts of her armor had been removed. But much of it still clung to her body, especially around her chest, arms, and legs. The armor pulsed faintly, reacting to her breathing. It looked less like clothing and more like it had grown into her over time. Ryan watched her closely. He had never seen anything like this before. It wasn't just alien technology, it felt like something ancient, almost alive. He leaned over and checked the monitor, which was now reading stronger vitals. Her body was healing. Slowly, but surely. She opened her eyes again and met his gaze. Her voice came out like a whisper. "You are human." He nodded. "Yes, we're from Earth. We found you in an asteroid field. I couldn't leave you there." Her expression softened. "You risked much." Ryan sat beside her. "I don't know why, but something told me you weren't dangerous. Not like the stories they tell about alien weapons hidden in the dark." Alari looked at her hands, still covered in parts of the armor. She tried to move her fingers again, this time with more control. "It has been long. I did not think I would wake again." "You said the armor was a cage," Ryan asked. "Why? Did they trap you in it?" She turned her head slightly, her glowing hair falling over her shoulder. "I refused to follow their final order. My people, they fell to madness. They wanted to burn a world to make others kneel. I chose not to be part of it." Ryan frowned. "So they locked you in that armor as punishment." She nodded slowly. "The armor is made to obey the command of the Empire. If the mind resists, it seals. It becomes prison and protector. Both." He stood up and walked to the tool table. "Then let's get the rest of it off." Alari looked unsure. "Some parts may fight back. They will not come off easily." Ryan smiled slightly. "I've dealt with stubborn tech before." He grabbed a fine tool and returned to her side. The leg plates were next. He worked slowly, finding the hidden latches and energy seals. Every piece he removed released small puffs of steam or light. Under each one, her skin showed more glowing lines like they were drawn with light itself. As the leg armor dropped to the floor, she flexed her toes, surprised to feel freedom again. "It feels strange," she said, "like I'm waking from a long dream." "You're doing fine," Ryan replied. "You're strong." She gave him a tired smile. "You're kind. Humans, you were once just stories, wild, curious creatures. And now?" he asked. "Now, one of you has set me free." He reached for the chest plate, then paused. "This piece, do you want me to remove it now?" "Only if you feel ready." She closed her eyes, then nodded. "Yes, it must be done." Ryan moved gently, his hands careful and respectful. The chest armor was the hardest part. It was tightly sealed, with lines that glowed red. It didn't want to let go. But Ryan didn't give up. He used every tool he had, slowly working around the edges, breaking the old lock codes. After what felt like an hour, there was a loud click, and the chest plate lifted away. Ari gasped softly. Her body arched slightly, and the lights under her skin grew brighter for a moment. She was free. The final pieces of armor fell off like leaves in the wind. All that remained now were the faint marks on her body, runes of the old empire, glowing gently. Ari sat up on her own for the first time. She touched her bare arm and whispered something in a language Ryan didn't understand. Her eyes looked brighter now, full of life and strength. "You did it," she said. "The seal is broken. You're free," Ryan said quietly. She looked around the room. "But we are not safe." "What do you mean?" Alari stood, her legs a bit shaky but steadying fast. The armor had a signal built into it. Once the seal was broken, it sent a call, not to help me, but to warn them. Ryan's heart sank. "They're coming." "Yes," she said. "They will come for me and for you, too." He took a deep breath. "Then we'll prepare. We're not alone. The crew will help." Alari placed a hand on his shoulder. "You gave me a second chance, Ryan. I will fight beside you." As she stood tall in the soft light of the medbay, no longer bound by armor or silence, Ryan knew something had changed. The galaxy might not be ready for her return, but she would not face it alone. Alari moved slowly through the halls of the Silver Path, still weak but standing on her own. The glowing marks on her skin faded and out like soft light from old stars. Every step she took felt like walking through a memory, one that refused to fade. Ryan walked beside her, careful not to rush. "You don't have to push yourself. You've been trapped for who knows how long. She gave a small nod. But I need to see. I need to understand how much the galaxy has changed and what hasn't. When they entered the bridge, the rest of the crew turned. All eyes landed on her. Most stood frozen. A few reached for their sidearms. Unsure. Stand down, the captain ordered. She's not a threat. Alari gave a slow bow. Her voice soft but clear. I mean no harm. I was imprisoned because I chose peace over destruction. The crew watched in silence. Even with no armor, Alari looked powerful. Not just because of her height or the glowing marks, but because of the calm strength in her eyes. What exactly are we dealing with? The captain asked, arms crossed. Ryan looked to Alari. You said the armor's seal sent a signal. Alari nodded. Yes. My captors were part of the old galactic order. They believed in rule through fear. When I refused their final command, they locked me in that suit and hid me away. And now they know you're free? The captain asked. Yes, she replied. The armor was designed to alert them if the lock was ever broken. It may take time, but they will come. The room fell quiet. What will they do when they find us? One crew member asked. Lri didn't hesitate. They will erase everyone who touched the seal. No witnesses, no mercy. Well, the captain sighed. That's just great. Ryan stepped forward. We can't run. Not now, but we can prepare. Prepare? Someone asked. We're just an exploration crew. We don't have weapons for this kind of fight. Alari turned to face them. You don't need the weapons of war. You need knowledge. I still carry memories of their tactics, their ships, their weak points. And I will share everything. The captain studied her for a long moment, then nodded. All right, we get ready. Alari and Ryan spent the next hours in the tech bay. She shared details of the old enemy, their formation styles, their cloaked scouts, how they used fear as their first weapon. Ryan loaded her data into the ship's systems. Your knowledge, it's like opening a lost library. Most of my people are gone, she said quietly, but their sins remain. As they worked, a soft alert beeped from the console. What's that? Ryan asked. Alari's face grew serious. A scout probe. Not far. Ryan checked the screen. A ship, small, but heading straight for us. They're searching, she said. They're not sure I'm free yet, but they're close. We need to hide the ship, Ryan said. No, Alari replied. We need to show them nothing here is weak. Back on the bridge. The captain ordered the crew to power up the stealth systems. Lights dimmed, engines cooled. Lri stepped forward. Let me talk to them. No way, a crew member said. What if they track your voice? They already know I'm here, she answered. But if I speak with power, they may think twice before rushing in. The captain nodded slowly. You have 30 seconds. The signal opened. A strange voice came through, cold, robotic. Identify. Unauthorized activity detected in restricted zone. Alari answered calmly. This zone no longer belongs to you. Silence. Voice recognized. The signal said, Alari, traitor, your return is not allowed. You sealed me in a cage, she said. I broke the lock. Now I walk free. The line cut. The captain looked at her. You just started a fire. No, Alari said. I just made them afraid. The crew worked through the night. Alari taught them how to shift shield harmonics, how to scan for cloaked fighters, and how to redirect power for fast bursts of energy. Ryan stayed close, learning fast. How do you know so much about war? Because I hated it, she said. And to stop something, you must understand it. Hours later, the scanner lit up. Multiple signals. Inbound. They were coming. But this time, Silver Path was not a helpless ship. And Alari was no longer a prisoner in armor. She stood on the deck, glowing softly, eyes locked on the stars ahead. Let them come, she said. They'll find more than they expected. The stars outside the ship shifted slowly as the Silver Path floated in silence. But inside, the crew worked fast. Every corner of the ship was busy, power rerouted, shields tested, old weapons cleaned and brought online. It wasn't a warship, but they were going to fight like it was one. Ryan stood in the command center, watching the screen as 3 unknown ships moved closer. How long do we have? He asked. 20 minutes, the captain replied. Maybe less. Alari stood beside them, calm and tall. Her glowing skin pulsed with a quiet energy. She was no longer weak. Every hour, her strength had returned. She looked like someone born to lead in battle. These are scouts, she said. Small ships, fast, meant to test defenses. Can we handle them? Ryan asked. Lari looked at the screen. Yes, if we fight smart. The captain turned to the crew. You heard her. Battle stations. No mistakes. The lights on the ship shifted to red. Shields hummed to full power. Ryan ran to the weapon controls. They weren't the most powerful, but with Alari's help, they had been modified to fire quicker and target better. The 3 enemy ships stopped just outside firing range. They're watching. Alari said, measuring our strength. Should we fire first? Ryan asked. Not yet, she replied. Let them come to us. Double quotes suddenly. The enemy ships spread out. One to the left, one to the right, and one straight ahead. They moved fast like shadows cutting through space. Brace yourselves, the captain said. The first strike came from the right. A flash of light hit the outer shield, shaking the ship. Damage minimal, the systems officer said. Return fire, the captain ordered. Ryan locked onto the attacker and fired. The energy pulse hit its mark, and the enemy ship spun out for a moment. Smoke trailing behind it. Direct hit, Ryan said. Surprised. You've learned fast, Alari said. The second enemy ship came from the front, trying to distract them. It released a cloud of strange particles, jamming scanners. Lari stepped forward. Her hands moved over the console. Switch to visual tracking. Scan for heat instead of energy. Ryan followed her instructions. Within seconds, the hidden ship glowed red on the screen. Got you, he said and fired again. The shot missed, but it forced the enemy to move, revealing its full position. The third ship attacked from the left, aiming for the engines. A loud boom echoed through the ship. Engines stable, the engineer reported. But shields are down 20%. Alari looked at the captain. We must end this quickly, before more come. What do you suggest? The captain asked. Trap them, she said. Fake weakness. Make them move closer. Risky, the captain replied. But possible. Alari said, trust me. The captain gave a short nod. Do it? Alari moved to the controls. She dimmed the front shields, making it look like the ship was failing. She lowered weapon energy in bursts to make it seem like they were running low. The enemy ships took the bait. All 3 moved and fast and close. Ryan watched them approach. Now, Alari said. With one move, she activated a power surge. The front weapons fired a spread blast, hitting 2 ships at once. The closest one exploded into bright light. The second one lost control and slammed into an asteroid. The last ship tried to run. Don't let it escape, the captain said. Ryan locked in and fired. The blast clipped the ship's wing. It began to spin, sparks flying. Should we destroy it? Ryan asked. Lari stared at the screen. No, let it go. It will return with a message. A warning? The captain asked. Yes, Alari replied. They will know we're not weak. Silence fell over the ship as the last enemy vessel disappeared into the distance. The crew let out soft cheers. They had done the impossible. They survived the first attack. Ryan sat back in his chair, breathing hard. We actually did it. Alari nodded. You fought well. The captain looked at both of them. This was just a test, wasn't it? Alari's face grew serious. Yes, they will return with stronger ships, and they will not stop. Ryan stood beside her. Then we get stronger too. Alari looked at him, a small light in her eyes. I believe in your people now. You learn fast. You fight with heart, the captain added, and we're not done yet. In that moment, the Silver Path didn't feel like an exploration ship anymore. It felt like something more, a symbol of hope in the middle of the dark galaxy. They had faced the first wave, and they were ready for what came next. The dark silence of space broke with the sudden appearance of a large fleet. Dozens of ships, big and small, moved like a shadow swarm toward the Silver Path. Their shapes were sharp and cold, designed for war and fear. On the bridge, the crew watched the screens with tense eyes. The captain stood tall, calm but alert. Ryan's hands trembled slightly as he checked the weapon systems. Ilari stood at the center, her glowing skin pulsing brighter than before. "This is it," she said softly. "They've come to finish what they started long ago." The captain nodded. "Everyone, prepare for battle. Shields up, weapons ready. No mistakes." The enemy fleet closed in. Their leadership, massive and covered in dark armor, moved to the front. Its surface glowed with red lights, and strange symbols flashed across its hull. Ilari's eyes fixed on it. "That ship that belonged to my commander." Ryan looked at her. "Your old commander, the one who trapped you." "Yes," she said quietly. "He is not the man I knew. Time and hatred changed him." The first wave of fighters launched from the enemy ships, sleek and fast. The Silver Path's defenses lit up, energy beams cutting through space. "Target the fighters," the captain ordered. Ryan aimed carefully. The modified weapons fired with new power. Thanks to Ilari's knowledge, several enemy fighters exploded in bright flashes. Ilari moved through the ship with grace and speed. Her glowing hands glided over consoles, guiding the crew, giving orders with calm certainty. "Hold the line," she said. "We cannot let them break through." The battle raged on. The enemy fleet was strong and relentless. One ship broke through the shield and fired a heavy blast at the Silver Path's engine room. Explosions rocked the ship, sparks flew, and alarms blared. "Engine status," the engineer shouted. "Damage critical." The engineer answered. "We're losing power fast. Reroute energy from non-essential systems," Ilari said. "We need the engines to survive." Ryan worked quickly, following her instructions. The ship slowed, but the shields held. Then, the massive enemy commander ship moved closer, its weapons charged with terrible energy. "That's him," Ilari said. "He wants to end this." The captain looked to Ilari. "What do we do?" Ilari's eyes burned with determination. "I will face him. It's time." Ryan stepped forward. "I'm coming with you." She smiled softly. "You saved me once and now you fight by my side." They boarded a small fighter ship, specially modified with Ilari's knowledge. As they flew toward the enemy commander's ship, Ilari shared memories of the past. "He was once a great leader," she said, "but the Empire changed him. I refused to follow his orders. That's why he locked me away. He's lost now," Ryan said, "but he still has power." They reached the enemy ship's bridge. It was cold, dark, filled with sharp metal shapes. The commander waited. His armor was black, with red lines glowing like fire. His eyes showed no mercy. "Ilari," he said, voice heavy, "you escaped. Your fate. Now you will pay." She stood tall. "I escaped your cage. I will never bow to you again." The fight began. Ilari moved like a storm, fast and fierce. Her glowing hands struck with power, breaking through his defenses. Ryan supported her, using the fighters' weapons to weaken the commander's shields. The battle was long and hard. Sparks flew, metal cracked, but Ilari's strength was more than physical. It was the will to be free. Finally, with one last move, she knocked the commander to the ground. He looked up, defeated but not broken. "Why do you fight? There is no peace." "There is hope," Ilari said, "and I will protect it." She stepped back, giving him mercy. Ryan and Ilari returned to the Silver Path as the enemy fleet began to retreat. Their leader defeated. On the bridge, the captain smiled. "You saved us all." Ilari looked out at the stars. "The war is not over, but we have won this battle." Ryan stood beside her. "And we will be ready." The Silver Path sailed on, a small light in the vast darkness of space. The battle was over. The stars outside the Silver Path seemed calmer now, peaceful after the storm. Inside the ship, the crew moved quietly, tired but alive. They had faced fear, and one Ilari stood on the observation deck, looking out at the vast space. Her skin glowed softly, the ancient runes shining like a gentle light. She was free now, free from the armor that had trapped her body and soul for so long. Ryan stepped beside her. "How do you feel?" She smiled, a real smile, warm and full of hope. "Like I am finally myself again. No cage, no chains." He looked at her closely. You changed all of us. Your courage, your strength. It's more than we could have hoped for. She turned to him, eyes bright. You gave me that chance. Without you, I would still be locked away. They stood in silence, watching them. Stars moved slowly. The captain joined them. Alari, what now? What will you do? She took a deep breath. There is much to rebuild. The empire is broken, but shadows remain. I will help find peace not with war, but with understanding. Ryan smiled. Sounds like a good plan. Alari looked at the crew. Your people are strong and kind. I want to learn more, to share my knowledge and help protect this new future. The captain nodded. And you have a home here, with us? Alari's face softened. Thank you. Days passed. The Silver Path traveled to new worlds, carrying hope and stories of courage. Alari worked with the crew, teaching them about old ways and new possibilities. Her glowing runes no longer marked her as a prisoner, but as a protector. One evening, on the observation deck, Ryan asked, Do you ever miss your old life? She looked out at the stars. Sometimes, but I know this life is better. I'm free, and I have friends. He smiled. We are glad you're with us. Alari's eyes sparkled. And I'm glad to be here. The crew gathered one night to celebrate their victory. Laughter filled the halls, music played softly, and stories were shared. Alari sat beside Ryan, watching the joy round her. She whispered, The armor was a cage, but it also kept me alive. Now, I'm ready for what comes next. Ryan took her hand gently. Whatever happens, we face it together. The stars outside twinkle like promises. Lari smiled. Yes, together. The galaxy was vast and full of dangers, but also of hope, and with the Silver Path and her new friends, Alari knew she would help build a future where no one would be trapped by fear or armor again. The cage was gone. She was free. And so was the future.